The planet is burning. But you probably already knew that. Temperatures are rising, and ice is melting at an alarming rate. And the only way to slow down that process is to reduce our carbon emissions. But governments are doing very little to help. Once a year, every single head of state comes together in order to reach some form of agreement signed by all countries, in an attempt to save our Earth's temperatures. This is where the United Nations Conference of the Parties comes in, or COP in short. This year was the 26th edition of the conference, and the hottest topic of discussion will be the collective goal to reach net zero by a certain date. In theory, net zero proposes to take the carbon we're pumping into the air and offset it, which basically means that trees will be planted to suck it all in, or it'll be pumped back into the ground in order to neutralize what we've put out. So, oil companies like Shell can keep on drilling and deforesting indigenous land as long as they plant trees somewhere else, right? Wrong. The problem with that is that the global emissions of carbon dioxide amount to 31.5 gigatons every year, and the amount of trees that would be needed to suck in just 6% of our annual emissions would need to span 2 times the size of India. Also, the technology to inject the carbon back into the Earth? Yeah, that's probably not going to do much until scientists can properly figure out how. Lucky for us, though, we didn't need to go very far to protest against the world nation's bullshit claims about their contributions to climate change, because COP26 was coming to Glasgow, and only a river was going to separate the Royal Conservatoire and hundreds of world leaders. So, second year contemporary performance practice students, that's us, have hatched a plan as part of our activism module. Plant ourselves in the middle of Glasgow to subliminally educate the people on what net zero actually means. To do this, we were going to pose as the main sponsor of COP26. Ever heard of Sainsbury's? Yeah, they're pretty big on the whole net zero thing. Well, we are really posting as Sainsbury's instead to avoid any men in suits knocking at our doors. Our debut Sainsbury's campaign was going to launch in the heart of Glasgow at the height of COP26, which also happened to be Halloween. Crazy coincidence. And we called it Finding Our Net Zero Here. The concept is simple. We take to the streets and ask people to pop their heads through this nifty face-in-hole board and get them to say some semi-questionable lines to screen test in search for the face of our Sainsbury's net zero hero, who's not a real hero and has no real sidekick called Mrs. Oily, and together they're gonna fight not real crimes because net zero is not real and the planet is still burning. Simple enough? Yeah, nothing about climate activism really is. So, as the morning dawned on sunny Glasgow, a group of us met in a rehearsal room to discuss the final details of our action and test out just a few things before the big day. Did I say sunny? Yeah, it wasn't looking too good.
Yeah, so don't get that on film. It's going to be a bold day tomorrow.
This is Jess. She's the logistical brainstorm of the group and is really great with working through the practicalities of stuff.
Are we even going to get anyone if it's pissing it down? So the cameras and stuff. And the cameras, all the camera equipment as well.
Radical. What about today? What's the weather like today?
And here's Jay. They label themselves as an anarchist activist, and they are our guest lecturer on our activism module this term. They've seen some serious fucking shit. Just type Rebel Clown Army into Google. Here's a scene of him telling us about a run-in he had with the police. Again. Back to discussing the weather.
Shall we then, unless we can find a slightly covered area.
go on
It's
BBC
public.
weather and I'll see if there's like a specific. One sec, rather than just Apple. Get a more detailed picture.
Or when you do present the weather
Dale T. They're about to save the day.
from the shop, like there's kind of little like indents
You know
where we can maybe set up something.
where we did our performance lecture, where we wanted to put the buskers, is where the VHS is. That's an overhang area.
So, now that we'd landed on our snazzy Sauchiehall Hall Street action location, we were finally ready for our official costume try-on montage.
No one told you life was gonna be this way. Your job's a joke, you broke, your love life's the old way. It's like you're always stuck in second gear, when it hasn't been your day, a week, a month, or even your year. But I'll be there for you when the rain starts to pour. I'll be there for you, like I've been there before. I'll be there for you, 'cause you're there for me too.
Okay, so we've got some slogans here. If you can just recite them. And you're a professional actor right here, so it's
Sure
really
am.
easy for you. So this one, are you ready? In 3, 2.
Wait, sorry, I'm looking into the camera.
looking at
Yeah,
the
yeah.
And we'll try and say it together.
Okay, right.
3, 2, 1.
Business as usual.
A little bit more like joy. This is the best thing ever. Are you
Alright,
ready?
okay.
3, 2, 1.
Business as usual.
That's pretty much how our day went. We had some crazy moments, like this one, where an actual COP delegate stuck their head through and totally played along.
What is the burning net zero hero?
And then to you.
Don't fret, Mrs. Ali. Slowly and steady wins the race. You don't want egg on your face.
Amazing. Thank you so much.
We had lecturers, friends, sons, and daughters of lecturers come by, as well as this one guy on a bike who seemingly no one knew but decided to come along anyway and say the lines.
Business as usual.
Thank you.
But my case still stands. The planet is burning, and we are the only people who can change that. Oh, did I mention we made a jingle?
Net Zero Hero, saving the earth in 9 years' time. It's the Net Zero Hero. Only 9 years to go. Oh, well, let me introduce you to the reason that we only went and wrote this tune. He's been setting off your CO2. But don't you worry, cause it's just some fumes. You can take up anything as you please. Just keep it under 1.5 degrees. And nothing without Mrs. Oily, my trusty buddy who pollutes the seas.
Do you smell that?
Smell what? Climate disaster, no time for laughter. Who's going to look after our Earth?
I'm the Net Zero Hero and I'm top of my game. You can keep on mining fossil fuels, but it's all okay, cause then I'll plant some trees, then I'll save the day. Yeah, the climate is imperative, but so is my pay.
Oh really? Did you consider that maybe your plan is flawed? That drilling and spilling is actually causing all the harm? Sound the alarm, cause everybody here is up in arms. But